Well, welcome to Hump Day at Saratoga today with Terry Hay.
Right.
You're trying to work my way around this new start, but hey, I think I got it all figured out. Last time we were together, Terry had a pretty good day. He had the nice $900 pick four. Hopefully, we got something like that in store for today at Saratoga. I think the last time we did all right at Saratoga too. So far off to a decent start.
Yeah.
And working on some data that I'll share soon over at my Twitter, HRT Rich for Saratoga. Made my way about 3/4 of the way through. I'll finish it up tonight. We'll get it up for tomorrow. We're going to create profiles of the winner as the meet goes along. So we'll know exactly what wins from where at what post, what type of running style for every distance, every type of condition. Of course, as always, we also have some free picks today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Today is Thistledowns, one of the few tracks around the Midwest that's still fast today with just the downpours of rain. You can get that at the link at the description below. A little bit after the show, we'll post all of our race notes along with the replay of the video over at horseracingtoday.net. You can catch a link down in the description as well. While you're there, kindly support the show. Get yourself a purple number 10 or a red and gray number 11 shirt over at our merchandise shop. We would greatly appreciate the support in that respect. And then, of course, if you're new to us today, kindly do us a favor. Follow us if you aren't doing so on Twitter. And then if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the pound button. Any interactivity, including comments, are very much welcome because they help us with all of the social oligarchs and their algorithmic scores. Terry, we're here hopefully to help find some winners today at Saratoga. We're going to start off in race number 2 because they canceled the jumpers in the opener. So we're going to go to the flat racing starting in number 2.
Yep. Well, it's a 1.1 miles. It's a maiden race, $100,000 purse for maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, and at 1.8 miles. So far, they've run 4 races at the current Toga meet. Early speeds done fairly well. 2 of the 4 won wire to wire. As far as the post positions are concerned, it's kind of a barbell approach, Terry. You've had 2 win from the rail, 2 win from 8 and out, 10,000 simulations to determine a couple different factors that we look for. First up, we want to see who has the best chance to get the early lead. And then from that projected pace, which horses are going to be in their comfort zone, or these races will mirror their best performances. Par plus, how many times in our 10,000 simulations the horse ran a speed figure of 89 or better? That is the average winning score, according to the folks at Brisnet. And then we have our simulated odds. We're hoping that the post-time odds will be higher than our simulation odds so that perhaps we can catch a little bit of value. Terry, do you see anything of value in the data here?
Well, that 5 shows all kinds of speed. It should get out there to that front if there's no problem getting out of the gate. And then the overlay, number 2 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to about 6 to 5, 7 to 5. The 5 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 5 has the only par plus number, and the 2 and 3 have C zones.
Yeah, and the only one that's close to 50% is save time, the 2 horse there. And we typically want to score about 50% or higher. In race 2, we also do trip handicapping along with pace handicapping. You see trip handicapping here. Really, no pilots are pilot dependent. We don't have any versatile EP types either that can pilot or co-pilot. The 2 and 3, they prefer to have somebody out in front of them. The 5 is your closer. The 1 so far has not been within 5 lengths of the leader in its limited career at the finish line. The beginning, the early pace belongs to Refuse to Lose, about 3/4 of a length quicker than Good Night, My Angel. As the race comes to a close, it does look like Save Time will be the one making up the most ground at the end. And then finally, our top total pace horse here. You got 2 of them, Refuse to Lose and Save Time, considerably better than Good Night, My Angel, and Fade to Gray. So just play straight 5-2, call it a day, Terry. Looks like that's what you did.
Yeah, well, I like that 5 horse because she refuses to lose. She ran second versus Similar in her last race. She is a closer who can improve at the longer distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, Save Time, is my second choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race as a favorite, but her trainer wins 29% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The one, Fade to Gray, is my third choice. She ran. She can improve while trying dirt. Blinkers are added today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the 3 is my long shot, Good Night, My Angel. She can improve while trying dirt, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. We get $100 budget every day, and in this case, we bet $2 to win on our first choice, a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices. We bet that's about $8.40 a race. Today there are 8 races, so it's going to leave us some money to use. I think it's about $32 or so to be able to use elsewhere.
Our friend Sean over there, who runs all of our social media sites, says after 4 days, the favorites won 15 of 43, so about 35%, so a little bit higher than usual. Average $2 winner paid $13.78. So that says to me that either play the favorites or play bombs. $1 exacta, $69.44. So a lot of high-priced horses finishing second. So decent trifectas in there. And the 10-cent superfectas, there are absolutely some bombs hitting the backside. I don't think that's going to happen in the opening superfecta race masters. There's only 4 horses in there. So I think it'll be pretty low no matter what. I think the 5 horse is the one to beat as well. It is the left arrow horse, one of those closers that does have enough early speed to contend. That's what I've deemed those. Could be the pace setter, has some late speed to boot. Probably going to be one of your favorites. Fade to Gray, the 1 horse, going to get the second call from me. I'm going to break away a little bit from the top total pace there. Second race improvement would put this horse at borderline par for this level. Again, if you're new in the horse's second race in its career, you can add somewhere between 5 to 13 points to its speed figure. So that would put it at 80 and then 88. So right on that edge right in there if it maxes out. So we'll give it a chance to max out on a horse that was decently bet in its debut. Number 2, Save Time. Irad on the most experienced horse, but I feel like she's a Dennis Green horse. She is what she is. Every race looks like the other race. And so far, really not a whole lot of upside in what she's put on tape. Then finally, Good Night, My Angel. Good shot to be better in the second start after a layoff, or second start, after a layoff. But someone has to be fourth or fourth, Terry. How long do we have to this first race? We got 3 minutes. It says
3 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and they're kind of slow over there in New York, so they're on the Charlestown time. Let's go to race number 3 and see if we can work our way through that one.
All right. So in this race number 3, it's a 5.5 furlongs. It's a maiden race, $90,000 purse for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yeah, because these are all first-time starters, we can work our way through this because we do not have any data. So it's all handicapping here, folks. 5.5 furlongs, 2 races, 1 win wire to wire, 1 won as a closer, both won from the rail, Terry. All right. Well, again, no data, so just picks. Give them to us.
Well, I like that number 1 horse. She is a first-time starter whose sire wins 44% with first-time starters. Her dam has 3 winners from 4 starters and a boat workout on July 11th. And then I like the 5 Pawtucket Shuttle, also a first-time starter whose sire wins 25% with first-time starters. Her dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, Practically Summer. The 6 is my third choice. Her sire wins 16% of the time with first-time starters. Her dam has 3 winners from 4 starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good workout on July 6th. My long shot is the 3 Lightning Mama. Her sire wins 17% with first-time starters. She has a dam who has a winner from 3 starters, and her breeding suits today's distance. We do Miami Vice Don Johnson pick 4s, and so I'm going to start out with this, and I'm going to go all in the first race with 5-8, with 10-11, with 1-2, 9-12. That's a $48 pick 4.
I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I do. Isn't there only 6 horses in that race?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unless somebody scratched.
Okay, no, you're right. So I do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Uh-huh. I am going to start off with the 3 horse in here, Mr. Terry. Lightning Mama. As you know, I go through a 3-point scale. I look at the trainer. How much do they win? Do they win at 11% or more? I look at the workouts. Are they exceeding or up to par on that 4 times 12? So 4 furlongs times 12, 48 seconds, 5 furlongs times 12, a minute or under. Check that box as well. And then the breeding is there. The only 3 for 3 are in the race. 1 horse, Viamente, Bullet and Go. That last workout, 4 furlongs in 46 seconds. You know what that is, Terry?
No, what is that?
Fast. And it's also, according to Barry Meadows, a 15% winning angle if the last workout is a bullet before they head to the track. Pawtucket Shuffle. This and the 6 horse both get the same score for me on my 3-point scale. But this one has some faster workouts and higher odds, so I put it above the 6. And I left the 6 off my ticket, probably regretfully when we get to the third race. But I'm going to go 1, 3, 5 with the 1, 3, 5, 8, with the 1, 11, the 1, 2, 9, and 12. And my ticket is $48. Again, they are right now on the Charlestown time. Speaking of Charlestown, Terry, our good friend Julie Ramsey and her husband Andre making a big announcement for Andre today. We have the Andre Ramjeet Racing Stables as he's gotten his trainer's license. So if you're looking for a trainer to go ahead and get the job done, we know Andre, we know Julie, we know they'll both work hard, put their heart into it. Make sure you reach out to Julie or Andre, give them a chance and see if they can get your horse into the winner's circle. All right, Terry, I think they're about to get started in race number 1. Race number 3. Race Masters likes the 3, so he's in agreement with me. And then the 8 horse, one Terry does not have in his picks. All right, let's go back in his all 8 there. 6 of 8. All right, so let's go back to race number 2. We'll tell you what we see as we see it, and then be back and let's see. Are they finding their way to the gate, or are they just still kind of circling around a little bit? Yeah, it looks like they're finally starting to enter the gate over there. So we'll have something to talk about as a very good-looking gray horse. The 1 horse makes its way into the gate. The 2 horse is your favorite save time at 3 to 5. Next up on the board is the 5. Well, the 5 horse at 5 to 2. Then the 3 horse at 6 to 1. And then it's a 5 horse field. So again, it's only a 4 horse field. So never mind. If there's a 5 horse field, then you'd have to go about your business. Taking the longest shot in the board. And they're off and running, and it's a pretty even start across the board. The 1 did catch a little bit of a better break than everybody else. Going to make its way to the turn first. The 3 horse going to be forced about 3 wide. The favorite sitting down in third right now, about 2 lengths off of the 1 horse. Looks like Irad didn't want to be on the rail, so he let his horse down, and then he let the 5 to its inside, and then worked his way up the track. So maybe there's a dead rail today. Perhaps Irad giving us a little bit of a preview of what's to come. They made their way through the opening turn. They have a fractions of 0 seconds. So they're absolutely flying, Terry. They got through there so fast, the clocker couldn't even put it on the scoreboard. The 1 horse continues, fade to gray to hold the lead. Doesn't really look like it's running very hard. The 3 horse right now trying to keep pace. The jockey has asked the 3 to go. Hasn't gone yet. The 1 horse continues to set the tone as they head into the turn to come home. Irad's now getting the 2 horse engaged. The 5 horse at the back of the field there is going to have to really come. The jockey's pushed to him. The 1 horse continues to have the lead. The jockey really hasn't asked him to go. Irad's asking the 2 to get involved. And the 1 horse, I don't know if it's slowing down or if he just really has this race in hand. 5 horse is coming up. The 2 horse, the favorite, trying to find its way up in there. Jockey on the 1, Fade to Gray, is going to win this one. He's going to win this one easily. And hopefully we beat that 3 to 5. But I don't know what happened to the 5 horse in there. He just didn't show up today. The 1 horse, the 2 horse, and then way back to the 3, and then the 5 horse just didn't run today. So as we rewind back to that first race with the 1 horse there, the angle on that one, again, we talked a little bit about that second race improvement, getting those points, borderline enough second race improvement for Fade to Gray to be your winner in the pseudo opener today, would you call it, Terry?
Call it what now? Say that again.
Like a pseudo opener, because the first horse was supposed to be the so a faux opener, maybe, if we want to have some French in there. All right, race number 3 is where we'll be for the next bit of analysis. We did race 3 because I'm all confused already. So we're going to go to race 4.
Yep.
Yes, race 4. There we go.
Yep. And it's a 7 furlong race, $16,000 claiming race. It's purse $35,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And that's 7 furlongs. It's the most common distance they've run so far, Terry. Surprisingly, that tweener, is it a route? Is it a sprint? Something in between, but they've done it 8 times, and Early Speed has done very well. 4 of them have gone wire to wire. The Rails Fair, the best place to be is where a black and white 2 or a blue and white 3, 4 through 7 discounted, 8 and out. So far, nobody from out there has managed to find the winner's circle. Terry, who does have the early inside speed, since that seems to be key in race number 4?
Well, that 3 shows a lot of speed, as you can see, although all of them show some kind of speed. But if it gets a good break out of that gate, probably get that quarter pole first. The 5 has the only overlay that I see. It's about 4 to 5 to 5 to 2. 5 also has the only par plus number, and all of the horses show some kind of C zone.
And our pace handicapping, that's that last race. We see here that most of this race is tilted towards the back. So if you get to the front, you probably have a good chance to win. Again, 4 out of 8 going wire to wire. The pace tells us that early on, the 6 horse Pebble Lane, Perm, Sharp Gal, they're all going to be in contention for the lead. What I see from here, though, is the 5 horses, again, a left arrow horse. Didn't work out in race number 2. Maybe it has a chance in race number 4. I'm all confused with that race being off like that. Sharper Gal, the closer, not only does it have left arrow speed today, but it's also about a half a length faster than everybody coming down the stretch. It is our top total pace horse. 3 points clear of Permed. Again, every 5 points equates to about 1 length. The top 4 horses generally produce about 72, 73% of all winners. Terry, who's your winner?
I like the 8 horse Malou. Drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, has a high percentage win trainer, wins 33% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. Then I like the 5 Sharper Gal. She finished 6th in her last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 19% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, has the highest last speed rating, actually tied with another horse, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Permed, the 3 is my next choice, third choice. She drops in class today, will improve while returning to dirt, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Dashing Della, the 1 is my long shot. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. She has the highest last speed rating. She's actually tied with the 5 horse and has a high percentage winning jockey and a nice bullet workout on July 12th. No additional bets for me in this race.
I'm going to start off with the 5 horse. If you follow me over on Twitter at HRT Rich, if you haven't, make sure you do. I put up some stuff yesterday that I was reading about in James Quinn's book, The Complete Handicapper, and he was talking about queer endpoints. And if the horse had 30% of all the queer endpoints, it then had a positive ROI. 10 horses yesterday I posted that met on all of the cards yesterday. 4 of them won. Paid about $28 total, and that was about a 40% ROI. Today, Sharper Gal, the 5 horse here in this race, is the only Q30er that hits the bill today. So that's my top pick, Jerry. We'll see if we can follow through again today. Dashing Della, I'm going to take a shot with the 1 horse here as my second choice. All of its race internals were better across the board last time out. Its fractions were faster. And its second up record says it'll be better today than it was last time. Malu, the 8-horse, is a class dropper that just needs to run back a couple of races to win for Terry today. And then finally, Permed Pletcher horse, taking a big drop here, Terry. I think they're looking more to sell this horse than they are to win this race. I'm going to put $20 to win on the 5. And then since we have $32, I'm going to make this a $6 exact key box with the 1, with the 5 over the 1 and the 8. So I'm going to go all out on that Q30 horse today, Terry. Off to race number 5, we'll go all out with our suggestions here too. What's going on?
Okay, well, it used to be on the turf, but now it's going to be on the regular racetrack, and I think it's at a mile now rather than the mile and 16th. It's a $62,500 optional claiming race, and it's a purse of $115,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $20,000 since twice, other than the maiden, claiming starter, or state bred allowance, or which have never won 3 races, or an optional claiming price of $62,500.
Yeah, I'm not sure what distance they're running, but there's only 4 horses. It's off the turf, and we didn't have any profile of a winner data for that. So the only thing we have in this 4-horse field, Terry, is a little bit of data, 10,000 simulations to look at. It sure does look like one of those horses is going to get to the lead right away.
Yeah, that's right. That 3, let's see, I mean, that 1 has the most speed, as you can see there, and nothing else in there has anything close to it. So we'll probably get there first. Then we've got the overlay. As far as I can see, there's not really any overlays there. And then the 1, 5, and 11 show par plus numbers, and then 11, 1, 5, and 10 show C zones.
You got maybe a little bit of a gringo horse here with Primavera Vista. Strong C zone, in fact, second strongest. Really likely to get to the lead here today. One of the best, I think the best par plus score. Yeah, would like to have a little bit better odds in terms of that. But with a 4-horse field, that'll definitely come down. Our race shape in this field, Terry, everybody kind of bunched up in the middle. The 1 or the 10 can take the lead. The 11 horse, the most versatile, Ikaban. As far as the early pace is concerned, it does look like a Primavera Vista is about 3/4 of a length quicker than everybody else, down on the rail. So very likely your tone setter at the start. Also has some of the best late speed. A value area does have the most late speed. Our top total pace horse is a value area, but it's a 4-horse field, Terry. So everything's going to depend upon pace and how this race plays out. Who do you think is the winner?
I like the number 11, Ichabod. Won her last race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the 10 value area is my second choice. She's finished in the money in 8 of her last 9 starts, drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. The 1, Prima Vista, is my third choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and today's distance is in her wheelhouse, as she's won 3 races out of 4 starts at today's distance. And then I like the 5 as my long shot. She ran second in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets in here for me.
Yeah, I agree with Race Masters. It's probably a pass race or a single race, or maybe you just put a couple of dollars on the longest shot on the board to win. That would be probably the way I would approach that if I were betting it. But Ichabod, this might be your single, but it's going to be 1 to 5, something like that. 2 to 5, 3 to 5, way down there in price. This one's run on the Saratoga dirt course 3 times. You know how many times it won, Terry?
3.
3 for 3 on the Saratoga dirt. Yes, sir. A Primavera Vista. That's your gringo horse at the right distance. 4 times out, 3 W's. The distance is the concern, not a concern. The surface is the concern. But could be your pace setter, and being on the front means at some point in time, everybody's got to pass you. The 5-horse. What is this one? A Promise Sharer America. The 10 might be the better horse. That is our top total pace horse, the 10. But this one has more back class, definitely has more upside, and you're going to get probably a much higher price than you will on the 10 horse. That's why I think in my pick 4, I only did the 1 and the 11. One of the longer shots and the very likely favorite. Race number 6 on this 9-race card that's been truncated to 8. So let's go ahead and do race number 6. And I still feel like I'm a little bit off, Terry, because of the change in the first race there, but this one was supposed to be on the turf too, and it's not.
No, that's true. They took it off the turf, and I think it'll be run at 5.5 furlongs, but I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, I
It,
think if they don't change it, and it says right here, this horse will be run at 5. Usually, if they don't put it in the race conditions,
yeah,
it
it
stays
says
at the same.
it does. It says it's 5.5, 5.5 furlongs on the main track. But anyway, it's a 50,000 maiden claiming race with a $57,000 purse, and it's for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, the type of horse that's likely to get its first W today does have, could be fast, could close because the two races so far, one wire to wire type, one from way off the pace. Both came from the rail where Lady reigns today. Terry, a lot of these horses making limited career starts so far. So the data in race number 6 might be a little bit skinny, but nonetheless does have value. So what are you seeing here in terms of who's going to set the tone early?
Well, that far outside horse, 13, has the most speed, and it's a lot more than anybody else in there. So anyway, the 2 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 9 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 5 to 1, and the 2 has a par plus number followed up by the 9, and then the 12 is the only one that has a C zone number, and it's pretty nice.
Barstool Babe for Dave Portnoy and company over there. Yeah, again, if you're new, par plus means when we did our 10,000 simulations, in this case, about 4,100 times. Hugh ran a speed figure. I put it at about 81 because that's what it is on dirt. So I ran a speed figure of, about 81 or better, about 4,000 times. As far as race shape is concerned in the 6th spot, we don't want to see that. The 1 Lady Reigns making her first start, so we don't know what she's going to bring. Everybody else so far has kind of been, half the field right here of the experienced horses, not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. 12 and 13 have been forward. The 9 and 11 want to close. Yeah, most of the time, horses get their maiden win on the front, so maybe Swain about a length quicker than Hugh. Might get the front and never give it up at a decent price too, but maybe cheap speed coming in from a cheaper track. Belacqua, I hope I pronounced that correctly, is the fastest horse at the end with Hugh. Althena in that mix too. Park Avenue Betty probably going to stop at about at the turn and just watch the rest of them run. Our top total pace horse here is Hugh, Terry. That one is about 9 points better than the Speedster. So maybe we made a mistake not putting the Speedster in our picks.
Could be. I was looking at that. So, but I'm going to start out in this race with the 12 Barstool Babe. She drops in class today, has a high percentage trainer, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to go with the 2 Hugh as my second choice. Drops in class today, has 1 winner from 3 starters, and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the time when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. I like the 9 Street View as my next choice. She drops in class, has the highest speed rating at last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the time when he takes a maiden to a maiden claiming race. And then I like the 1 as my long shot, Lady Reigns. She is a first-time starter who's breeding suits today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play the second, I think in last pick 4, it's a Miami Vice, Don Johnson. I'm going to use a 1, 2, 9, 12 with a 9, 10 with a 1, 2, 5, 8 with a 1, 4, 15, $48 ticket.
Yes, I'm going to begin with the first-time starter in here, Lady Reigns. And the only concern for me is it's debuting in maiden claiming. Usually if you have a really good horse, you're going to debut it in special weight. But when you look at these June workouts back here at Saratoga, just look at these workouts back in here. This fast. So look out for that one coming off the bench, those back class workouts, or back bullets as I call them. Next on my pick is the 2 horse Hugh. That is the second choice in here. With any second race improvement, like we saw in the opener in race number 2, could make easy work of almost all of the rest of these horses in here. Street View, the 9 horse. Definitely the most consistent. most of that good work was on the turf. The lone dirt trip, yeah, that one didn't go too well. And then finally, the 12 horse Barstool Babe. You got Linda Rice, you got Jose Ortiz running against a group of mostly mid horses. You can't overlook that. But I do think you're going to get the most value out of the one and the two. One of those horses, in my opinion, will win this race. So I'm going to go the 1-2 to start my pick for it. Probably really more reflection if I couldn't really decide on one of the next three horses where I can only put two in there. 4, 5, 7, 10, 2, 4, 5, 6 with the 1A, the 4, the 15. Also $48. Race number, you're getting, you like the 3 and the 12, right? All right. Belacqua, one that neither one of us has, and then the 12 horse, Terry's top pick. If you haven't done so already, if you're following us on Twitter, kindly hit the follow us button. You can also retweet so other folks who are interested in seeing our Saratoga selections can make sure they follow along today or tomorrow or the next day as well, so they'll know when we go live. Typically, we post the information about 30 minutes before we start. How long before the next race starts, Terry? Race
14 minutes.
Oh, Lord, we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So really about 17 minutes. So that means we'll probably get the next three races in, starting with race 7.
Yep, 7 furlongs, allowance race, $20,000. First 50,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of 20,000 or less in 2023, 2024.
Yeah, again, 8 races so far, and 4 of them wire to wire at the 7 furlong distance, where they start all the way in the back. The rail is fair for I'm Buzzy, 2 and 3, the best place to be, 4 and 7 a discount so far. Nobody who's worn an 8, 9, 10, or anything higher than that has found their way in to the winner's circle to collect that check and take a smiling photo. But Terry, if speed does matter, maybe one on the outside today can change all that.
Yeah, that 10 shows a lot of speed again versus the rest of the horses. And then the 4 has an overlay from about 7-2 to 6-1. The 5 has an overlay from 9-2 to 6-1. And the 10 shows an overlay from about 6-5 to 2-1. Most of these have some kind of par plus numbers, although the 3, 7, and 9 doesn't show any. All but the all have C zones except for the 5 and 8.
Yeah, so we're looking for a C-zone score of about 50% or more. Basically what that is, when we do our projections for the pace, then we match up the pace to the horse's best races to see how likely that this pace today will match the best performances. So 78% chance that there's a silver lining in. That one should get a pace today that it mirrors its best performances, so putting it in its comfort zone. It's also a gringo horse, green, 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 green all across the board. Many times those horses that qualify as gringo, they end up in the winner's circle. Our trip handicapping, pace handicapping, really not a true closer in here, Terry. So the 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8, they're very versatile along with the 9 and the 10, because the 9 and 10 could pilot or co-pilot. This race can go a lot of different ways as far as the shape is concerned. Early on, there's a silver lining, a little bit quicker than Jackie the Joker, and about a length faster than everybody else. So Jackie the Joker is the one that can keep the 10 to task if necessary. At the end of the race, there's a silver lining in, not only has the top early pace, has the top late pace. One of those horses you cannot pass, you cannot catch, Terry. Also, your top total pace in here by about, 7 points, a length and a half. Those horses are always ones to consider in your selections, maybe to wheel them in the win place spot and other things around it. You decided it's your best bet of the day.
It is. There's a silver lining. The 10 is my best bet today, and she has finished in the money in 8 of her 9 career races, winning 5 of those races, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Very competitive horse, likes to win. Number 9 she caught my eye as my second choice, finished the money in 7 races of her last 8 starts. Drops in class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Deck of cards, the 5 is my third choice, won her last 4 races, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good furlong workout on July 10th. My long shot is I'm Buzzy, and she is always in the mix, finishing in the money in her last 8 races, winning 4 of her starts, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet $20 to win on my top pick here, and then I'm going to bet a $2 exacta key box with the 10, and then use the 1, 5, and 9.
I'm going to begin with the 10 horse too. That one, there's a silver lining. Is that Green Go horse does have that top 10, top 0.7 point total pace over everybody else. The deck of cards, I'm kind of hoping this one gets overlooked, Terry. It's a $215,000 horse. It fits into my finally healthy category. The only other time that this horse made it 2 races in a row without heading to the sidelines, it increased its speed figure by 13 points.
Mm.
If she ups her speed figure by 13 points today, not only do I hope they overlook, but it would probably turn into an easy win. The 7 horse, Obrigada. Yes, I love those kind of names that you have to pronounce. This one is one of the big, I think one of 2 horses making a class drop from like $100,000 allowance races. And that last race was just absolutely brutal. But since then, does have a bullet workout on July 2nd, and they're going to switch to IRAD today. Something tells me that this race will not be brutal on the big class drop. And then finally, number 4, she's awesome. Very consistent horse. The other one, I think, that's coming down from allowance, $110,000. And really, every single race, for the most part, just reruns any of them, would put her in contention for the win. No additional bets for me in here. Race Masters can't be the only one. It's taking too long. I'll call you tomorrow. Christopher D'Souza, good to see you again. Race 7, number 8, $40 to win on Icy Reply. Guess what, Terry? He just killed your best bet in our pick 4s. He always does that. Thank you, Christopher. Yeah. We love that. How you been, my man? Been a while since we've seen you last. We're still trying to figure out what's wrong with Facebook. We're no longer in the penalty box, but for some reason it's not connecting to StreamYard. So maybe tomorrow we'll have that corrected and we'll be back to our normal selves again. We're looking forward to that. And if, like Christopher or Race Masters, you have some ideas for today at Saratoga Thistledowns, which is our free track today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, you can get a link to that in the description down there below. Let us know. You got any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions? You want any, any handicapping advice? Ask Terry. All right. Race number 8 is the opening leg of the late daily double. Terry, what are the conditions for this one?
Well, it was also going to be on the turf. I think it's off the turf now. It's a stakes race, and it's a New York Stallion Series stakes race at purse of $150,000, and it's for fillies 3-year-olds eligible for New York Stakes.
Mm-hmm. At a mile, we don't have any distance. We don't have any profile of the winner data. We'll have that as the season goes along because I'm collecting it all myself. We're going to get real granular with our stats. A lot of scratches because they came off the turf, Terry, but doesn't really impact the beginning of the race too much, although Solo Shot would have been the likely pace setter on the grass. It's just going to slide to the horse either to its outside or to its inside.
Yeah, that 2 and that 5 show the most speed, and they could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. The 5 has an overlay from about 8-5 to 9-2, and the 5 also has 5 and 2 have the par plus numbers. Then all but the 4 show some kind of C zones. So,
and then this stakes race, our race trip handicapping, that 2 horse, everybody wants it. The Loney, everybody else middle back, comfortable chasing. So if Sohana can get off to the front, look out. Might go wire to wire, although Cap Farat, a bunch of them will be right in that contention right there. But the 2 to the inside. So if the 2 wants the lead, it can probably get the lead. It might have to work a little too hard for it, but it can get the lead for sure. The late speed belongs to Cap Farat, although this horse, I think, only has 1 race under its belt. So there's some ability for that number to go up or down, some fluctuation. It is your top total pace horse based off that effort, a lot better than everybody else in that respect. So maybe the 5 horse is a single up in here, Terry. It is our top pick for the both of us.
That's right. I like that 5 horse. She won her debut race, and she has the highest last race speed rating. And her breeding, well, it doesn't matter. Number 2, my second choice, she finished in the money in 5 races of her 6 career starts. and won five of those races. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The one is my third choice, ran second in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Baroness Bourbon is my second, or my long shot. The 8 finished poorly in her last race, but she experienced.
So you got the 6 or the 8, because you have the 8 up here, which is Amy's Delight or Army's Light.
Oh, really?
Which one did you want? The 6?
I think it's the. Let me look here real quick, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the 6. So.
All right. So let me change that to the 6. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was going to say, she finished poorly in her last race after experiencing trouble, but finished second in the race before, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. And I have no other money, so I can make no other bets in here. So,
well, Race Master says you should have left the 8 in there with Army's Light. Or Amy's Light. Yes.
Yeah, probably.
If Christopher D'Souza says put the 8 in there, then you might want to go back and rethink that one.
Well,
I'm going to go off with the Cap Ferrat, the 5. That one is going to make the second career start. Any improvement off of that, and that's a wire-to-wire easy win. Sohana, that is a potential lone E-horse. If this one gets to the front, look out. And if it just runs back, not to its previous start, but the one before that, could be your winner. I'm going to go with the 6-horse Baroness Bourbon. In its career, this horse has had 2 races with Dylan Davis in the jockey. And in that race, in those 2 races, has a win and a second by a nose. Most of the other races are nondescript. So it looks like Dylan gets the best out of Baroness Bourbon. And then my Shady Lady. I get it. Kendrick. Well, that's not Kendrick. This horse got 2 wins. Both of those wins were at 7 furlongs, which were the longest races of its career. This one is even longer. So it looks to me like this horse is a distance horse, not a sprinter, and it's going to get the most distance it's ever gotten today. So don't be surprised if that one closes this one out at the end. The last race of today, tomorrow, of course, we'll do Saratoga again. Hopefully not as many scratches and hopefully not as confusing a start. This one, Terry, is, again, one that was supposed to be on the grass, and it's not.
No, it's not. So it's a maiden claiming race, $40,000 claiming price, $55,000 purse. For maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, supposed to be at a mile and a 16th, but I think it's going to be run at a mile on the main track.
Yes, indeed. That's the case. So, again, we don't have any stats for the profile of a winner. Not yet. We'll have them all tomorrow. I'll get through all of that today and tonight. So we'll be real granular at the Saratoga meet going forward. Again, tomorrow we'll do Saratoga. But right now, Terry, in the last race, we'll do who's going to be on the lead.
Well, that 4 horse is probably going to get that lead because it's got more speed than all the rest of them combined. And then that 15 horse has an overlay from about, not really an overlay. Nope. Sorry, there's no overlay in there that I see at all. And then the 15 has a par plus number, as you can see, and it's a pretty nice one. And then 4 and 15 have the C zones, and again, they're pretty nice C zone numbers.
Yeah, a lot of times when we see a horse like this 4 horse, the Taco Lady, that can get to the front and has an outstanding comfort zone score like this one does, by far the best in the group, that means that 4 is going to be on the lead, and that means that 4 is going to be very comfortable on the lead. A lot of times those horses, they get to the front, they stay on the front, maybe they get kind of nipped at the end, but otherwise they do all right. Let's see if that 4 is going to get the lead here. Well, the 4 so far not within 5 lengths of the leader. 15's a pressure horse. The 2 and 5 are closers. The 1-8 going to give it a go for the first time at the beginning of the race. It does look like the Taco Lady a little bit quicker than Coquito. So maybe the Taco Lady gets to the front with that early speed and keeps it up there. Late speed, maturity date, the 15 horse. A little bit better than Luna Love, a little bit better than Blind Speed, but really not outstanding either on the front or on the back. It is your top total pace horse by about 3/4 of a length over everybody else, and probably going to go off at 3-5, 2-5. It is a 4-5 morning line favorite. There's a lot of scratches coming out there, Terry. You think nobody can beat it?
Well, I like the 15 maturity date, ran second versus Tougher on the dirt in the last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, drops in class, has a high percentage winning jockey. So it's a lot of boxes marked off. Number 4, the Taco Ladies, my next choice, drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then, or she does. And then 1A, the Dream Continues, is a first-time starter. My third choice has won, has a high percentage winner, a trainer, and he has a good workout on July 7th. And then the 5, my long shot, Looking for Ginny, switches to high percentage winning jockey and drops in class today.
I know this 15 horse is going to be a big favorite. There's no question about that. But I'm going to take 2 cracks at beating that horse. And I'm going to start off with the 1, the Dream Continues. That's the first timer. Remember, we talked about back bullets back here. If you look at this May 28th workout, 47-4, that's pretty quick. These 2 workouts here, pretty solid workouts too. They meet that 4 times the distance. 12 times the distance, excuse me. So 12 times 4 furlongs, 48, 12 times 5 furlongs, a minute. And also, if you talk to old timers, they love to see a 5 furlong workout before heading to the track for the first time. The Taco Lady is the other one I'm going to try to beat the favorite with. The Taco Lady is going to get to the front, and the jockey that's on that one, Kendrick Caramouche, you know where he likes to ride, Terry?
Yeah, he likes to ride in the front.
He loves the front. Horse is lightly raced and is a pure maiden special weight dropper. The 15 is going to be your big favorite. We talked about maturity date, going to be on there. You got Irad. Yeah, you never can bet against Irad unless he's in Europe or in Kentucky. But you can't really bet against Linda Rice either too much in New York. This horse is making the classic third start after a layoff, taking a class drop after the top last race speed figure, which was 5 points better than anybody else. It's going to be your favorite, folks, but I'm going to try to beat it. And then Christopher D'Souza likes Luna Love. I like Luna Love too. Hit par at this level and should be closing. I just feel like it's more of an in the money horse than it is the winning horse, Christopher. But you never know, right? You have it with the 3, the 5, and the 1 in the win place and exacta trifecta box in there. At the gate for race number 2. All right, let's see what's cooking here in race number 2. Boy, they're actually running in race number 2.
Yeah.
So race number 3, excuse me. And right now in race number 3, you have the 7 horse. Bellicose up on the lead right there. Bunch of horses closing in pretty aggressively at the moment. Right now you have the 1 horse, that big time favorite. The 3 horse is trying to make a move. In between horses, this is a tough spot to go. 7 horse continues to set the tone. It's one that neither one of us have, Terry. Probably regretful in that regard. There's no question about that. That big favorite is trying to wiggle its way up in there, but he's running sideways as all hell, Terry. It's going to be the 7 horse. Bellicose, the very end of your all bet almost. You should have alled it in there.
I should have, yeah.
Yeah, that one actually is a very easy winner, the 7 horse over the 1, and a whole bunch of other things kind of fighting it out there. So one thing about those 2-year-olds, you just don't know what the hell you're going to get. Let's take a look at that 7 horse and see what did we miss in there. It was a 2.6er. It was next up on my scoreboard right there. You do have Jeremiah Engelhart. Wins at debut special weight, 18%. That's a good number in there. The breeding was some of the best breeding in the business. There had the 1-pointer in there. But the problem for me was it didn't meet any of those other statistics in here. So that's why I didn't have it. There's none of those workouts that meet the times 12 standard. So I gave it a half a point in that one. So yeah, sometimes, it's horse racing. Sometimes the handicapping, the horses beat you, right? I mean, it just happens. I wish I could find a way to win them all. I am working on something, though, with that information that I put up yesterday on my Twitter feed over at HRT Rich. Make sure you head over there. Follow me if you haven't. I'm going to start putting stuff over there that you won't get anywhere else. You won't get it on the Horse Racing Today stuff. Probably won't provide a whole much of it on the show. It'll be over there, so it's important that you follow along to get it. I'm going to really focus on these Q30 horses and see if I can find a whole bunch of horses in the course of a day that have a chance to get to the front, stay at the front, and then try to weed out the ones that maybe don't have the best chance to win, and see if we can find something that scores at about 35 to 40% of the time, and but only maybe have 3 or 4 of them per day to kind of look at. If you like what you saw today, Terry, what should folks do?
They should subscribe to YouTube and go down and click on that little bell so that they get notified about all these great shows that are coming up. Go ahead and go down and copy the link and share it with all their friends and relatives, everybody they know, so they can come and check us out too. Go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and give us a thumbs up or a like at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and have a great day.
Of course, tomorrow we're going to do, as we do on every time Saratoga's running, we'll do Saratoga again about 10 minutes before post. We'll come live. You'll get to see Terry's pretty face and then me off to the side. And then, of course, on Friday, we do Foreign Fridays. I know we were going to do, forget what we were going to do, but now I know what we're going to do. Thomas has said he changed his mind. So we're going to go about doing, I think, the Cura, if I remember correctly. I can't find it in my emails real quick as I try to find them. But I think we're going to do the Cura. We always do well with the Irish racing on Foreign Friday, so make sure you tune in for that. Of course, this weekend, thank you, Christopher. We appreciate that. This weekend, a big race over at Monmouth in the Haskell Stakes. I don't think they've put out the performances yet, the PPs, but when they do, we will have our wagering guide available over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you use the link in the description down below so they know where you are coming from. Terry, before we part today, any words of wisdom or final thoughts from you?
Well, yeah, I think it's for the West, it's been nice as far as the temperature, so that's pretty good. But it looks like you guys have been having a lot of trouble out there in the Midwest and the kind of on the coast.
We're used to it. I mean, let me tell you something, Terry. Mother Nature is nowhere near as crazy as the streets of Chicago. So
yeah, I know. And Chicago's pretty bad here recently. It's not good. But anyway, just have a great day and tell your loved ones how you feel about them, friends, because you never know what's going to happen from day to day.
Yes, indeed. Well, no matter what you're doing on this hump day, thank you for sharing it with me and Terry Hay for Saratoga today. Of course, no matter what you're doing, make sure you treat the people around you with respect. You can use a lot more of that these days, even if you don't agree with them on absolutely everything. Sure, if you get to meet some folks that you think you disagree with, there's a lot that you probably have in common. And then, of course, no matter what endeavors you're chasing today, life's dreams, or just a couple of winners, we hope you have God's grace, God's favor, and everything, of course, Terry, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow. Make it a great hump day.